most of the boats in Suzuki Superboat. Leighton and Kelly Manel had mechanical issues at Gisborne. Here in Merri, they righted the wrongs. They were too good for the rest of the Suzuki Superboat field and won. Second place was Lethal Injection, Jamie Lee Lupton and Duncan Wilson out of Wanganui, and they were spectacular. Well, joining the Group A action, of course, was the Suzuki Superboats here in Hawke's Bay, 15 kilometres from Hastings. Big crowd in watching the spectacular racing, and a change at the top of the field once again. Duncan Wilson and Lethal Injection now leads the championship from Leighton Manel, but as you see, there is absolutely nothing in it. Peter Host in third place in the quad rotor Mazda on 82 points.
Oh, he's done it again. No.
Rob, you had a startling performance at Merri. Do you feel like you've turned the corner?
Yeah, it was nice and positive. It felt great, really did. I knew it was always there, and it was just a matter of, I guess, getting things right, getting the lines right, taking my time about it, and yeah, to shave 2 seconds off in that final run was really, really satisfying. So hopefully today we can carry on from there and be there at the end and put another good performance in.
that one got away?
Yeah, it went into that hairpin a bit too hot, and it's buddy must have caught quite a bit on that weed in the grill. It looks like it's pulled one bolt out, so it was like having the reverse half in. So I sort of just had to nurse it at that, and it was pulling on the wheel and all sorts of things. And I was thinking, oh no, we've got to do a time. And hopefully someone else has a bad run. You know what I mean?
We've got to work on the hairpin. I still think 49's doable today. I mean, hey, we're going in the right direction. We're 0.25 off 50, so I think, we're going to the finals and they'll be chasing a 49. So.
Miss out on the top 5, and that 5 looks like this. Leighton Manel back on top with a 50.88. Brent White second and Kiwi Battler. Good performance for him, the 58.21. And then it's the points leader, Duncan Wilson, in third. So first to go, this is Brent White and Morris Edwards. The boat is Kiwi Battler, and these guys, I don't know what they've done between the rounds, but they have grown another league here at Hastings. They've put on stunning performances.
Yeah, we've had some issues in the early rounds. Fastest today was in the top 8, a 58.21, but boy, are they going to need to try and find some time to beat up on the likes of Leighton Manel.
Well, Manel just head and shoulders above this combination. They just got that hairpin wrong the second time, and that's probably cost them a second.
So Kiwi Battler on the water, the round of 5 for Suzuki Superboat. Boys using the full width of the racetrack. I don't think there's a bank he hasn't hit so far on this lap.
33.75, that's blown out in the split. He's got half the course to go yet. It's been a shocker for Brent White.
Yeah, maybe just trying a little bit too hard, and again he's really struggling with that hairpin the second time around.
Well, I've said it's the money corner. It sets up your run to the finish, and poor old Brent, he just hasn't quite got it today in Kiwi Battler. Well, not in this round anyway.
58.83 for Brent White in Kiwi Battler.
At the end of the day, we're 200 cubic inches short. Morris and I are the best part of 250 kg of good, honest Kiwi bloke, and we'll just fight on. Never give in.
Well, this is a man that never gives in. This is Nick Berryman. His times for 4.56. Oh, terrible run in the top 8. He got the hairpin wrong as well and blew out to over 70. But because of the numbers, it makes it through to the next round. This is the 5, Suzuki Superboat. This is the man from Rotorua.
So as Phil said, they did a 56.17 in the top 12 for their fastest run of the day so far. Got that first part of the hairpin beautifully.
Yeah, but a lot of the drivers get that first bit right, the turning left, it's the turning right, the second time round that normally catches them out. And every time they're being caught out, they're moving the island slightly because they're taking the edge off it, and that just makes it harder for the next guy.
Split for Berryman, a 32.1, so he's about 1.6 seconds quicker than Brent White.
Oh, and he does a great job after telling us that he'd get it wrong. I got it completely wrong. Nick Berryman doing the work here at Hastings.
This should be a good clean lap, looking to be his quickest. It is with a 55.5 for Nick Berryman.
So Nick Berryman goes to the top of the tree in Suzuki Superboat. Good run for him. Second place early going though, Brent White and Kiwi Battler, that 58.830. Pat Dillon next to go. Something for the Ford fans to cheer about. The blown and injected 410 SVO Ford. And they have had their issues, but talking to Pat earlier today, he thinks he's on top of most of them now. They've sorted out the flame-out problems that dogged them last season. They had oil problems at Mary. That turned out to be just an oil filter seal. Now they're ready to do battle.
Well, he hasn't been too far behind Leighton Manel. 51.9 gets the first hairpin turn right. 51.9 as opposed to a 50.88 for Leighton Manel, so he's not too far behind. Split coming up.
It's not a bad split either, 30.46 for the Hulk.
Comprehensively quicker than the first two boats in the top 5 for Suzuki Superboat. You can see he's running a new breather system on the top of the engine. You can just see that above the top of the roll cage on the PPG Hulk.
You can understand why Steve Edmonds' navigator gets a little bit agitated. Must be an exciting ride in this thing. 1,400 plus horsepower. Pat Dillon at the wheel and a 52.801. So it is the Ford that goes to the top of the tree in Suzuki Superboat. Pat Dillon on top, but a couple fast boys still to go. One of them, Leighton Manel, and the other one, a bit of a surprise because Duncan Wilson will be double driving in Kiwi Battler. You're on board here, though, with Leighton Manel.
Time to beat a 58.8, so Brent White is on the bubble currently in Suzuki Superboat. Fastest lap for Hummer time has been a 50.88 in the top 8. Just caught a bit of the bank there.
Well, you can catch it, and if it doesn't catch you, you keep on going, you keep your foot hard up, but that's certainly what Leighton Manel will be doing. Kelly Manel, his wife, sits alongside him, calling the notes, making the hand gesticulations, trying to get her husband going the right way. Is he going the right way?
Well, he's 4/10 quicker than Pat Dillon, but it's a fairly untidy lap, you got to say. Let's see how he gets the second part of the hairpin right.
Oh, she's pretty rugged. But the thing's got so much horsepower, it's just going to jet out of any little corner. And the thing with the Suzuki Superboats is because they have got all that power, they can get themselves out of trouble pretty well. 52.140, not as good as his previous runs, but good enough. So we say goodbye to Brent White, and Leighton Manel goes to the top of the tree with a 52.1. I heard you say before you're going to change blades, so that's in search of a bit more speed?
Yeah, we always do. Once we get to the last run, we've got our special set of blades we run, and that was my goal to get to 50 on those other ones and see if I can find a second out of it. So, no, we'll give it a good push in the last one, see if we can finish on high.
Well, we finished at Auckland the other day and everything was good and turned it off and put it on the trailer and went home and just did a little bit, looked over it and thought everything was good and came here this morning and started up and just had an awful noise in the engine. So whipped the covers off and checked the tappets and just looked all through it and we thought it was a starter motor, flexi plate hitting the starter motor and all that silly stuff first, but just don't really want to risk it really, just want to take it home one piece and we'll pull it down and have a good look at it properly.
So you'll drive Brent's boat for the rest of the day?
Yeah, very kind of Brent. Yeah, he offered me his boat, came running up straight away and said jump in mine. So it's been great. Every boat here nearly's offered me to have a go in them, but Whitey was first up, and it was a great privilege to be asked to drive someone else's boat for the day.
Well, you heard the man say it himself. Duncan Wilson have had mechanical issues with lethal injection. Brent White stepped up and said, hey, drive mine, mate. So he did.
So their best to date has been a 59.9. So Brent White in his own boat's actually been quicker than Duncan Wilson, but then I suppose Duncan doesn't want to tear the boat up because it's not his at the end of the day.
And the other thing, he's probably running a little bit more than 200 horsepower down on what he's used to.
Yeah, and about 200 cubic inches.
Exactly right. Add into the mix a different hull. Sprint Tech versus a White Pointer.
Split coming up 33.5, so he's plus 1.8 seconds on Nick Berryman. So Berryman is on the bubble. And the boat right up out of the
Wilson's
water.
nearly on the beach.
And pretty wide off the second hairpin turn as well.
But what the generosity of Brent White has done, it's allowed Duncan Wilson to stay in the title chase. Hats off to Brent White and hats off to Duncan Wilson too. 57.651. He won't be happy with that, but it's still points in Suzuki Superboat. Well, Duncan Wilson and Brent White sitting on the sideline because we've found the top three. Leighton Manel leads it from Pat Dillon and Nick Berryman. You just missed the three. 57 wasn't quite good enough.
Yeah, I don't know the times. What was that? We missed it, or what? Oh, did we? Yeah. Yeah. As the boys said, we've done a lot better than we thought we were going to. From the start of the day, we thought we were going to be sitting on the bank all day. So it's been a great day. Really enjoyed it.
Well, we have found the winner in Scott Waterjet Group A, and now we're going to find the best man here at Hastings in Suzuki Superboat. Nick Berryman and Rochelle Berryman out of Rotorua. New Zealand Riverjet is the boat, and it's just a tribute to their hard work, their tenacity, that they're even here. They've done what plenty of other Suzuki Superboaters couldn't do.
Well, one thing they have been through is a lot of starter motors this season. Hey, they got the hairpin right really well that time. One of the hardest trying teams in the sport.
You know, you mentioned before if that was a car, that was a wheel stand. Well, that was a bike, that was a wheelie for sure.
Is the split coming up? Oh, got a little bit untidy. The split was a 37.09. I think he might have made a nav error there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the pressure's got to the couple from Rotorua.
Definitely had to make a correction mid-course.
Well, you know, now he's got to roll the dice. He's got to get to the finish because you just never know. Leighton Manel may make a mistake, and so too may Pat Dillon.
So bringing it to the line, Nick Berryman. The timer is going to slow up a 60 flat for Nick Berryman.
Nick, we always know there's always drama in Suzuki Superboat, but well done, another final.
Yeah, very happy, you know, just to keep going in the end of the day, be there, and that showed the case again. Duncan and Peter falling off and Rob, so yeah, we'll just hang around and pick up the scraps, and yeah, but the boat, we're going quicker all the time, so you know, we're pushing 700 horsepower against 1500 and 4 seconds away from them, so we're bloody stoked.
Well, this is the 1500 horsepower he was talking about. This is Pat Dillon and Steve Edmonds. Now, they're right back in this. If they have a good run, they're really going to put the acid on Leighton and Kelly Manel. 52.8, but he's been quicker than that. If he can put it all together here, he's a shot's eye.
Well, they got to within 7/10 of Leighton Manel in the top 5 run, and one of the best runs that Pat and the team have really put together to date. But this is just a spectacular boat. 1500 horsepower and a 12-foot tinny.
It really is. It makes the right sounds. It goes fast. It does everything you want.
Here comes the hairpin.
It gets it spot on.
Absolutely spot on, Pat.
You couldn't ask for better than that. So Nick Berryman on the bubble now with 60.02. Whoa, we got a sub 30-second split. That's the first time.
29.65 for Pat Dillon. That is blisteringly quick, and you compare that to a 30.6 set in the top 5. He's on a run and a half here, and he gets the hairpin right for the second time.
He sure does, and that'll set him up for a quick run home. Are we going to see a bit of an upset here? Leighton Manel will be chewing his fingernails down to the elbows as Pat Dillon brings the Hulk home with a 51.245. So Pat Dillon, against all expectations, goes to the top with that 51.245.
That's our fastest run of the day, and obviously Leighton, he's certainly put the pressure on and he's done it, so no, good on him. So no, it was great. Yeah, we're pleased with it. We got our second, we got it all fairness, we went as hard as we could, so yeah, no, awesome.
52.140. That was Leighton and Kelly Manel's time in the 5. This is the 3. Has he got a 51 in him? He certainly has, because in the top 8 he did a 50. If he can replicate that, he'll take the winner's wreath here at Hastings. If he can't, it'll be something for the Ford fans to cheer about, Jamie.
Well, he's going to have to, because a 51.24 is pretty quick, and you got to say, Phil, for me that was one of Pat Dillon's smoothest laps I've ever seen in Suzuki Superboat, and that 1500 horsepower monster.
Oh, look, absolutely, and it's redemption for Pat and Steve, because they work so hard behind the scenes, and they work so hard at the racetrack, and they're always chasing little gremlins, and sometimes it goes with them and sometimes it goes against them. Well, here at Hastings it's gone with them. We're talking about luck. I'd rather be lucky than good is a good saying in motor racing. Ho-ho! 29.04.
6/10 quicker than Pat Dillon, and I watched that hairpin run on the first lap, and Leighton Manel got it beautifully. Here's the second round. Got a little bit out of shape, but look at the horsepower up and out of the water.
Yeah, when you got over 1,000 horsepower sitting behind you, pushing you forward, you know that something good's going to happen. Are we going to see a 50-second run? We do see a 50-second run. 56.50. Leighton and Kelly Manel win Suzuki Superboat. Well, you saw the pictures, now read it in black and white. Leighton Manel and Hummer Time on top once again here in Suzuki Superboat.
To be honest with you, Hastings has been a bit of a voodoo track for us. Third year we've finally come away with some points, so yeah, certainly was in the back of my mind. Would have liked to crack that 49 today. I think we could have done it, but I just ran into nuts just down that hairpin. Didn't want to beach it and make a big lunch of myself.
So after 4 rounds in Suzuki Superboat, Leighton Manel has retained the top spot. Pat Dillon now sits in second, 112 pays 108, and in third place it's Duncan Wilson, tied with Nick Berryman on 107. Fifth place is Peter Hosen, and sixth it's Rob Coley. Plenty of action still to come in the Jet Pro New Zealand Jet Sprinting Championships. We're under lights in Wanganui for the penultimate round. Join us then.